Well, we talk about you mentioned it too. Him taking that kind of like high risk kind of maneuver when it comes to the electric chair drop off the turnbuckle. There's been some kind of high risk moves that people have been talking about this past weekend and stuff like that. The one that was the big takeaway was Will Ospreay versus Kenny Omega, and that's just happened at Forbidden Door 2 on Sunday. We watched a clip here. Rob, what did you kind of think of that execution and everything to that aspect of just knowing your experience of all that?
Should we show it or no?
Probably we shouldn't show it at probably. People know what it is, so I don't want to get flagged for anything, you know?
So what I saw, the one dude had the guy's arms, picked him up like he was gonna give him a tiger driver or
Yep.
a tiger bomb, as it's also called, and instead kind of let him his form be compromised halfway, so that when he dropped him down, it was like right on his head. So it was a very dangerous bump. It was a dangerous maneuver, whether or not Kenny was no who was Kenny was taking no Will Ospreay was taking it.
Osprey delivered it, and Kenny took the
Oh,
bump on it,
oh
and
yeah.
Kenny landed on his head. Hmm.
So I either way dangerous. I'm not gonna shame anybody for it because I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not
Yeah,
gonna act like I know what I don't know, and
yeah,
I'm not
yeah,
I'm
exactly.
not gonna assume anything. I know that because I was so flexible and because I always wanted to put everything into all of my bumps, and because my style is so action oriented, I used to always tell people, like, if they give me a back suplex, to go ahead and like throw me on my back of my neck and have my knees, overshot and have my knees bounce off the mat while I'm landing on the back of my head. And I did that to guys like Jericho. I did that to guys in All Japan, and they would really take advantage of it, so they would like really put a lot into it and like wham. And even if it did hurt, sometimes my ego would never let me expose that. So I would just be like, send it in, brother. You're not gonna hurt me. And they would grab me, sometimes grab me like they're gonna do a German suplex, but like but throw me so that I get some air, and then wham, I'd land like on the back of my head, curled up in a ball, and my knees would like hit the mat, boom, and I would just stay like that in a ball. And it's very possible that people could have looked at that in a similar way, and they could have thought that the wrestler that did that to me, they could have, dangerous, sure, but careless, not necessarily. Who knows?
Right, and like those two worked together multiple times before, and not that I mean for me, I mean, geez, it looked fucking dangerous as hell. Like I would not, want that done, but like you don't know, it's just like okay, well, I necessarily is the risk worth the reward when it comes to all that stuff. It's just like that's a debatable thing along a lot of
Did,
people because
did anybody go to take a stretcher ride? Anyone go to
no,
the
and
hospital afterwards? Then
the
the risk is probably worth the reward. It looked pretty fucking good. It's got its talking. Good job. It's good for
yeah,
the business. It's a
yeah, and
physical job.
the reports were afterwards. Kenny remained unscathed for the most part with from the match, and both guys were fine, and no injuries after that. So, I wanted to ask too. It's kind of in the same realm.